Field sets are a great way to keep track of information in Aspen and actually have it look and feel um, to match the best needs of you as a classroom teacher or an administrator. Simply go into the view you'd like to use. I'm going to look at the student view right here. In the student view, I actually want to create a spreadsheet that has the student's name and their Aspen username and their Aspen password so that I can have that information readily available. So to do that, you simply go into manage the field sets. So I'm going to click on field set, and it's one of the icons over to the right of your screen. I'm going to click on the manage field sets. Once I click on manage field sets, I really want to create a new field set, so I'll click on new. I'll give this an ID that makes sense, so I think I want to put down that this is student Aspen ID and passwords. So I want to put down information that's going to make sense to me in the future. And basically what I can do now is choose all of the information that I have available to me in the different tables in Aspen. So this is the student table, and these are all the fields that are available in the student table. And there are many fields available here, so I want to sort them by A to Z order. So when I click on that sort, it basically puts all of the fields in alphabetical order for me. So I will scroll through, and you can see that there are a lot of fields here. The first field that I want to find is the first name field. So I'm going to back up a little bit. And here it is. So when I click on the field name and click add, it moves it over into the selected fields space. So I want the first name. I also want the last name. So I can simply click on the L key, and it's really going to cycle through and look for anything that begins with L. So here's last name. So I have the first name, the last name, and now I want the user ID and the user password for my students. And that typically isn't kept in the student field. That's usually in another table. So it's not typically kept in the student table. So if I click on the little pull down here, you can see that these are all of the fields or tables, excuse me, that you have access to. So I have access to the student table, the contact information, emergency contacts, mailing address, next school. I can also scroll through and go to the user information. So when I click on user, I'll get a whole different set of fields that I can pick from. So I want to add not only the first and last name, but I want the login ID. So I click on login ID, and it pulls it over into the selected fields area. And I also want a generated password field. So I'm going to click on generated password and click add. And what this basically will do is it will create a spreadsheet that has the first name in the farmost left-hand corner or column, followed by last name as the next column, followed by the login ID, which comes from the user table, and then the generated password that comes from the user table. So basically, field sets contain the names of fields that come from tables. So once I'm all set with this, I click on the Save button, and what it will do is it'll bring me back to this Manage Field Set screen. Notice this one's all the way at the bottom. Okay, so when you add a field set, it goes to the bottom of the list. You can actually move it up if you choose to by clicking on the up field. And you can just keep clicking that until it goes all the way up to the top if you like, or you can hunt for it. So I'm going to click on close, And when I move over to my field sets, I can actually choose that field set all the way at the bottom of my list, and it shows up with the student's name, first and last name, their login ID, and the generated password. And you can see that some of the fields don't have generated passwords in them yet, or even um, a username. So we know that we need to actually address that in the classroom at that point. You can send a message to the help desk, or we'll actually be doing some searching for these holes in fields so that we can make corrections. So simply go into Manage Field Sets, add the fields from the tables you want to use, and then you can actually have access to that information.